Good morning and welcome to Let's Talk on a Second Chance. My name is Philip Jones.
And my name is Tafaro Cook, two-time kidney transplant recipient and founder of Kidney Care Coaches, where we coach people with stage 3 to stage 5 kidney disease. If you or you know someone who has kidney disease and they need to be coached with their challenges, hit us up at kidneycarecoaches.com.
So today we have a very, very interesting video for you. It's about 5 minutes, and it's about a 60-person kidney chain that happened mostly at UCLA in their kidney exchange program. This happened in 14 states as well as Canada. It was, I believe they said 60 surgeries, 30 kidneys got donated to 30 different people. If you know how the kidney chain work, you know, it's basically you may not be able to donate specifically to somebody that you know, but can join this chain to be able to donate to someone, and the person that you are connected with can get a kidney from somebody else from a different location or the same location or whatever. And get their kidney that way. So we're gonna take a look at this video on YouTube. We don't own the rights to this video, and then we'll touch on it a little bit after the fact.
One man helping save troubled homeowners by reducing what they owe. But first, dozens of people lives by donating their kidneys to strangers. Guys, you're going to love this story. We will meet some people involved in a record-setting effort. It's called a kidney chain. And her husband donated, but not to her. Imagine someone you love would die without a kidney transplant. You want to give them one of yours, but you're not a match for, say, your spouse. To the rescue, though, comes a kidney that is a match from a stranger whose loved one is in the same boat as you are. Does that make sense to you? The scenario, it's called a chain. A chain of 60 surgeries, 30 kidneys donated to 30 unrelated recipients. It happened in December, and it involved hospitals and patients all over the country. 17 hospitals, 11 states. It was the world's largest kidney transplant chain. 16 of the 60 patients involved had their surgery performed right here in Southern California. UCLA, Ronald Reagan UCLA Medical Center. And so joining me now, and these are just cool to have with us, from UCLA Medical Center, transplant surgeon Dr. Jeffrey Veal. Also here is Bertha Villa and her husband. Oh, she, by the way, got her kidney from a donor in Toronto. And her husband, by the way, got from a donor in Toronto. And her husband donated to a patient in Pennsylvania. Welcome to all of you. I think this is fascinating. I think the easiest way to describe this to everybody is it's a medical transplant, pay it forward. So Bertha, you were on dialysis, and then something went wrong that meant you needed a transplant, right?
Right. Well, I had been on the transplant list for 7 years.
Oh my God.
So you know, it was a long wait. It was, getting, feeling sick, feeling, bad all the time.
And then you got an infection.
And then I had an infection. So.
And then Rigo says, I want to do something. I want to give my kid. Rigo, how did you hear about this idea of the chain? And if you gave your kidney to someone else, it would help.
This was a worker from UCLA, Suzanne. She told us about the switch, a swap through,
And he initially wanted to
swap through,
And he initially wanted to, the kidney, but we
wouldn't match. So you didn't want him to do it, though.
Felt a sense of guilt.
Really?
So I just felt like I was taking something that he needed away. And so once they explained, though, the process, and I knew he was, he really wanted to do this. Then.
All right, Dr. Jeffrey Veal, how does Rigo giving a kidney to someone else, and in that case, moving it all down the chain, help Bertha? Because normally when you talk about organ transplants, they're very, very stingy about that. They're very careful of, you're first in line, second in line, third in line.
Right. Now that's more for the deceased donors on the list. And Bertha was on the waiting list for 7 years waiting for a deceased donor kidney. But I think you explained it pretty well. I mean, Rigo wanted to donate a kidney to Bertha. Bertha didn't match Rigo or was incompatible with Rigo. So if she would have got Rigo's kidney, she would have rejected it. So what happened is that a stranger gave Bertha a kidney, and then Rigo goes, hey, my wife just received a kidney. I want to pay it forward or pass on the generosity. So Rigo gives his kidney to someone in Pittsburgh.
Whose idea was this?
It's a guy by the name of Michael Reese in the University of Toledo. And he came up with
aren't
the
you
idea.
surgeons pretty stingy with your organs? I mean, you like to keep them at UCLA if you can, right?
Yeah, but we've tried to get people, we think it's more important for the good of, get people off the waiting list. So we often ship our kidneys to San Francisco, San Diego, whatever, because eventually the chain comes back around. And Bertha and Rigo were early on in the chain, but then we had 3 other patients that were at the end of the chain. So if you pass it on, eventually the chain keeps propagating and comes back your way.
Amazing. And what would you say to others who are in need of kidneys or organ transplants where a chain would work?
I think an amazing concept, and we really would like people to look into it and learn, educate themselves, especially in a lot of the Latino community, other communities that really are not aware of the situation.
Maybe you can be a part of that.
So I think I will think about
You're
that.
certainly healthy looking enough now to go out and be the spokesperson. It's great. It's great to see you both.
Thank you.
You look terrific. Looks like you did a good job.
I tried.
All right, Dr. Jeffrey Veal. Bertha and Rigo Villa, thank you very much for being here.
Thank you.
You're muted. I think you're muted.
Yeah, I just saw that. What are your thoughts on that, Mr. Cook? I mean, because I know you were part of a kidney chain yourself when you had your transplant. So, what's your thought on something like this? I mean, that's 60-person chain compared to a 6-person, which you were a part of. Because I know this was, I think, about 12 years ago. So from the time that you got yours to what, 2010, I mean, that's a big jump in time, to go from 6 to 60.
Yeah, that's big. I got mine in 2007, so we were the sixth one that was ever done. And when they were done, that time they were only done with everybody in the same hospital, and getting them done right then and there, where they would take 3 donors, remove the donors' kidneys, and then bring in the recipients. That's how they did it. But nowadays, that's 15 years ago, close to 15, 16 years ago. The good thing now is they can do them a clear across the country, across the world, if you will. You know what I mean? So this is awesome where they can take a kidney from a gentleman in LA, ship it to Pittsburgh, and the kidney's ready to go on somebody else. And this is called the chain, which is an awesome swap. Again, mine was, real rare at the time, and it was an early database. Matter of fact, it was like, again, it was the sixth one that was ever done. So therefore, it was really new. But now we're starting to see them where they could do 60 people and get people off the waiting list and get them transplanted, which is awesome. And another thing which is awesome about it is everybody in the swap is getting not a cadaver kidney, but a person's kidney. So those kidneys should last a little bit longer, which is even better. But wonderful, man. I never thought that you would see it, be so massive now, where they can do 60 of them in a minute. They might be doing 70 to 100. So that's awesome, man. This is wonderful. 30 people off the transplant list and got transplanted. Hey, what more can you ask for? Something situation like that.
Right. And it's good to see people starting to not, I don't want to say use the word stingy more or less, but they're starting to have that thought process of, hey, this may not be good, because this is the one thing I know that a lot of people are like, well, if it's not going to the person I want to go to, then I'm not doing it. And so a lot of people now are getting around that and saying, well, if this can get the person that I want, to get a kidney, then, let's do what needs to be done. So, they're not necessarily I won't say caring, but it's not an issue for them anymore. With it not necessarily going to the person that they're trying to give one to. They're just like, if this is gonna get it, if this is gonna get them this kidney, then let's do what we got to do. So um, like you
I
said,
think
more
that's
people on this.
Yeah, that's big. What it's called is when you have people who want to just give. That's called an altruistic donor. Somebody who just wants to give a kidney or a lobe of their liver, a lobe of their lung, whatever it may be. But this is wonderful. Speaking of that, there was a gentleman named Luke. He's passed away now, and God rest his soul. But if it wasn't for him, our kidney transplant swap would have never happened. And Luke was from Denver, and he just wanted to be an altruistic donor. He just wanted to give a kidney. So his kidney got donated, and that's when our chain happened. If you want to see how it really works, go to kidneycarecoaches.com and check it out on our website, where National Geographic did a documentary on the kidney chain swap, and it featured me in it, me going through the whole process of some of the things you have to go through if you want to be in, get a kidney transplant swap. But wonderful situation, man. I love it. I hope we can see more and more of these things happening in the kidney community for sure.
Definitely. And so just to, kind of elaborate, we can get out of here. But the reason why I wanted to touch on this video. Like I said, this was 10, 12 years ago. But the reason why I want to bring it up, I brought it up was because a lot of people are kind of questioning the speed of getting to the pig kidney, the pig heart, transplantation, things of that nature. And so my whole thing was, to kind of show them there was a process. It happened in progress. They didn't just think, oh, we could jump from this to this, in a number of time. They progressed to that point. It might have been a small amount of time and they figured some things out. Like you said, your transplant was in 2007 and it was one of the first, ever. And then 3 years later, 2010, they jumped to 60. 60 people, so 30 transplants, happened at one, in a matter of time. That's only 3 years later. So, they did, their due diligence and made the transition the way they needed to make it. So, trust it, trust that they're not just going to throw it out there when it's not ready, first off, so just know when it is ready, they will, it will be, I think, ready. Nothing's perfect. Let's just say that. So, some people may deal with some things. That's part of it. We all deal with these things, and transplant has been around for ages, and people still dealing with stuff. So, but yeah, that was kind of the reason why I want to show that. So definitely, continue to keep looking into these things that are coming through the pipelines. Like I said, the pig kidney, pig heart, the bioartificial kidney, uh, 3D printing, all these things like that, right? Do your research. Don't just believe what certain people are telling you. Look it up for yourself, read on it, get this information, get this knowledge on your own. You don't have to necessarily just rely on, certain people telling you stuff. Do this research on your own. So, but it is definitely coming. It's going to happen. So get ready. A lot of people, they're putting things in place. So a lot of people about to get taken off this transplant list. That's the goal. So definitely want to make this happen. So again, appreciate anybody that was watching live, watching in the future. Definitely come back. We'll be back tomorrow morning, same time, 10 o'clock or 10:15. Whichever time we get ready. And we'll be back. Monday through Fridays. Let's talk. Sundays is a second chance. Usually our interviews or educational, not necessarily educational videos, but educational shows that we do. So definitely tune in on Sunday. This Sunday we will have DJ come on that was supposed to be on yesterday. I had an issue on my part, which is why we had to postpone it to this coming up Sunday, which would be at 2 o'clock Eastern. 2 o'clock Pacific, 5 o'clock Eastern. Not our normal 5 o'clock Pacific, 8 o'clock Eastern. So definitely try to remember that switch. And we will see you all tomorrow morning. Appreciate you.